Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you right now. It's morning for us, Monday, actually, August the 30th,
30th.
which means I'm 64 in 2 days, Taryn. That's what it means. Yes, somebody had a party this weekend. Anyway, I'm Eva Marie Everson, 64 years old. That makes me officially a Beatles classic song. See if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm the president of Word Weavers International, the director of Florida Christian Writers Conference, and this is my sidekick over here.
Hey, I am Taryn. I am the vice president of Word Weavers International and the co-director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference. And today we are with Karen Whiting, and she is going to be telling us about the continuing class that she is teaching at the Florida Christian Writers Conference. And it's on writing devotionals. Is that correct, Karen?
Yes, it is. And I'm Karen Whiting, author of 30 books as of this December, and 1/3 of them are devotions. So I've written a lot of devotion books as well as individual devotions for magazines and places. And I even wrote devotions as content for websites for radio networks and things.
Very good. Very good. I mean, Karen, you have, we call it somewhat of a famous saying whenever you introduce yourself. When you think of writing,
you think of Whiting.
That's right. That's right. And, one of the things that I'm excited about this year that you are doing the devotional continuing track. And by the way, everyone, this is the continuing track. So it's 8 hours of education with someone who definitely knows what she's talking about. Of course, we only bring in people who know what they're talking about, but Karen has a longstanding reputation within the industry for writing specifically devotionals and devotions, as she said, within other areas, not just in book form, but for radios and online, et cetera. Now, Karen, that's one of the things that I want to hop on real quick, because you're not just going to be teaching writing devotions for adults, but for all ages.
Yes. I have written devotions for preschool, through teens, middle grades, for adults, for military, for history buffs. So there's a lot of people, a lot of types of audiences you can write for.
That's so true. And by the way, everyone, I actually started in this industry. I actually started writing for a children's ministry, which still surprises the heck out of me. But and Taryn. But I also spent a year or two writing devotions for an online website, really got my feet wet, got that byline. Karen, why is it that writers of should not ignore writing devotionals and devotions?
Well, besides being able to reach a lot of people, writing for a tiny little magazine like The Upper Room is read by up to 10 million people. So you can reach an audience. I know one author had written a devotion that when she was speaking in India, someone took a train ride for 200 miles to meet her because the devotion changed their life. So you can change people's lives with a short 250 words. Another thing is, you mentioned credits. Not only does it give you credits, editors actually look at that and say they know how to write tight and well, they can sell a devotion. And that's important to be able to do because they want you to be able to write beautifully and tightly.
That's right. Yeah, write tight is one of those little phrases that we hear a lot in our industry. And I want to add something to that as well. Because of something you just said, people think that writing 250 words should be easy. So let's talk about that this is an art form, and it takes practice and it takes work to take, like an idea. If you have a devotional idea, you throw it out on paper, it's 500 words, but you are limited to 250 to 300 words. And that often includes the scripture. So talk about that writing tight.
It does. It can be 250 to 400, a little longer if you've written the book and you've made the parameters of what you want to write. So yes, you have to learn, how do I keep it focused, single focused, write it tight, and yet have it be beautiful. But I always point out that Proverbs 25:11, which to me reflects what we do for a devotion, like apples of gold and settings of silver, is a word spoken in right circumstances. What power is in that one little sentence?
Yes.
But it shows us we want to write something beautiful, that we have an image we remember. We want to write something, the right circumstances means it's going to hit that audience just as they need it.
Yeah, that's so great. And again, you have written devotionals for children, for teens. Taryn writes for middle grade. And so you two know that that is an audience that we need to reach that audience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we do. And I have another boys devotion that I did with Jesse Floria, because we've co-authored a couple of times, and it looks like we may do that again. And that's coming out in November, Devos for Brave Boys with Tyndale. So, we've done well with a Tyndale 1-year one we did for boys that is in the 3rd printing now.
Oh, wow.
So, yes,
That's
it's really
awesome.
great to do that. And it's important, but when you're writing for boys, it's not like writing for adults. Boys want gross stuff. They want humor. They want to be entertained. They want it fast paced, and they love fascinating facts that they can impress everybody with.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So my son wants to be a zoologist, and the most communication, when I get more communication out of him, I should say, it's when he is telling me some bizarre animal fact, and it gets them all excited. So absolutely. That's very true, Karen.
And Karen, my grandson is like the mascot for FCWC. He's been there every year since the year he was born, and he will be 9 years old in November. So he'll be on the cusp of being 9. He was at the house on Saturday night, and we were like stunned because he was giving us these facts through riddles, or what he was calling riddles. And it was a lot about science and nature. And like you said, things that you would go, okay, that's not something girls would tell.
Right. And the boys' devotion that's been so popular, with every devotion is an activity, and those change up to 8 or 10 different types of activities. And so one of them is fascinating facts. Another is jokes and riddles. Another one, which is really one of the basis underscoring the book, is a weekly self-assessment check. So they can start evaluating how they are in kindness, sports, spiritual life, anything, because those change every week. And they don't like to journal, but they'll do a little assessment. Say,
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Into them, but the other things, of course, grab their attention.
So how do we just talked about how you would write devotionals or devotions to boys? What about girls? How do they change? How do they differ?
They, don't mind lots of words and lots of other activities. So my best-selling devotionals are actually God's Girls, which are crafts paired with devotions.
Yes.
So you read a devotion on a woman in the Bible, there's some journaling to do and some craft to do that ties into that woman. So if you're reading about Mary, the mother of Jesus, we do a macrame belt, and it talks about family ties, and that's a belt you tie on to keep a little connection there. Okay. But then once they've done it, I add sparkling ideas, and now you can do another belt and change the colors, add beads, all these types of things to be creative. Absolutely. So I want them to have a full scope of fun with the devotion.
And these are the things that you're going to be teaching. These are the things that you're going to show the conferees at FCWC who attend the devotional or the Writing Devos continuing class. And also then, how we start slipping then into the more adult topics and the things that adults have to deal with.
Yes, and they all have the same 4 elements, really. They, you can use that with RIPE, or Cindy Spurls has a different one she uses of hook, look, book, took. And but at any rate, it's always going to need that reliable research. It could be your personal experience. It could be that fascinating fact, like the goby fish that can climb a 200-foot waterfall. I don't guess what audience likes that one. And you need a powerful point. You need a point of why you're writing this and what they're going to get. And then you need that effective equipping of the reader, that you're going to give them that takeaway where they can apply it as they leave that day and as they're going through the day.
Absolutely. And how often do I speak with someone who says, that like this is happening. But in my devotional this morning, I was reading about, you hear that all the time. And you also hear, believers who are in the midst of a struggle say, it was amazing to me. I opened up my little devotional today, and it was all about this, exactly what I'm going through right now. It was the exact scripture that I needed. And it's just amazing to me how God works to do those things.
I know. We just pray and say, what should I write? And God gives us that first kernel of an idea that we nurture until it's ready.
Yes.
And we have to trust it's going to go out to the right people at the right time and impact them. Like that person in India that was so impacted. It wasn't just for the day. It changed that person's life.
Yeah. Exactly. There is so much more. I think people, writers, especially new writers, they think that the do all be all end all is in the writing the novels or the nonfictions, those types of things, but they don't realize the power and the ability that has to use the words of a devotion within a devotional or online or any of those places, in a radio studio, etc. This is real kingdom work, Karen. And I'm so excited that you're coming to be with us this year. We will see everyone, we hope, October the 20th. Now, somebody asked me yesterday, so I'm going to clear this up. I said that I saw the date October 19th. October 19th are for those people, or is for those people who want to come in a night early to get a head start on Kids Lit the next day. We are not doing anything on the 19th. In fact, you cannot even register. Taryn, I think it's 6:00. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think registration is right from 6 to 8 on the 19th. You're
Okay,
basically coming in, getting your room key and going to your room.
And going to your room. Yeah, we don't want to talk to you or anything.
There's not even dinner on the 19th. You
No, there's no dinner, there's no chit chat. We don't. No, just kidding. Karen will say hello to you. Taryn will say hello to you.
Right. I'll drive over on the morning of the 20th because I do want to be part of Kid Lit, since I write devotions and I love Michelle and you who are teaching that. So I want to listen in on what you have to say.
Oh, that would be wonderful. We're glad that you're gonna slip in just a little early. Thank you for letting us know. We'll make sure we have a lunch for you, Karen.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. But I went
outside chewing on the grass.
Michelle kept talking about it. I kept thinking about it. I said, okay, I'll drive over early.
Great. Yeah, we'd love to have you. So yes, if you're signed up for Kids Lit and you want to come in a night early, that is the 19th. All day long on the 20th is Kids Lit. Starting later in the afternoon, we're going to have the book proposal studio will begin. And then we also have the pitch studio that will be given by Edwina Perkins. You can start coming in about 1:00, I believe it is, on Wednesday afternoon for those things. Then Wednesday night, Bill Myers is going to be screening his crazy new zany film. And we're excited about that. There will be root beer floats and popcorn and just lots of fun. And then, of course, Thursday morning, the conference officially begins. So exciting things. Go to
my favorite people, my favorite snacks.
I
didn't know you knew that.
No, and a movie. Who could beat this, right? Who could beat that?
Right.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Go to word-weavers.com/Florida events to find out more. Again, that's word-weavers.com/Florida events. Okay. We'll see you hopefully in October. Karen, thank you so much for being our guest this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to talk to you.
Oh, you too. Thank you again, Miss Taryn. I will be talking to you again later because we have.
That's right. That's right. And we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yes. Can you believe it? It's crazy. It's just happening quickly. All right. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, and we'll see you soon, we hope. Bye for now.